Hey guys, it's Jenny Silver, and today I want to tell you everything you need to know if you are considering forming an LLC in the state of California. Not only am I going to go over what an LLC is, what 3 questions you need to ask yourself before you form an LLC to know if it's right for you, I'm going to show you the benefits of an LLC, but I'm also going to walk you through the full process of forming your LLC and then show you a trick of how to do it quickly and easily. First, today's video is sponsored by Tailor Brands. Tailor Brands is an all-in-one solution for your business. Tailor Brands is the world's only comprehensive one-stop shop for small business owners, making the process of creating and running a business simple, streamlined, and easily manageable. The platform of guided tools includes LLC services, EIN, domain, website, logo builder, merch, trademark, and much more, enabling business owners to start, manage, and grow their businesses with efficiency, ease, and confidence. Before I get into all of the information I'm going to share with you today about LLCs, I want to first show you how incredibly quickly and easily you can form your LLC using Tailor Brands. Now, a lot of business owners are scared off from the process of forming their LLC and never actually get started because the process can seem incredibly daunting, confusing, and it has multiple steps. They don't want to do it wrong, so they don't start. I want to squash that false belief from the beginning of this video because forming an LLC is going to take you just a couple of minutes in just a few clicks, and I'm going to show you how using Tailor Brands. Don't worry, I'm going to also show you how to do it yourself the hard way later on in the video for those of you that want to do it yourself. So I'm going to be entering in what business name I would like so that we can check the availability. As long as it shows that this business name is available, we're going to click next. Select which stage in development your business is in. Then I'm going to enter in what my plans for timeline are with actually launching my business. Next, I'm going to type in what sort of industry my business will be in. Start typing it in and then it will automatically pop up with some suggestions. Next, we're going to choose all that apply, whether we are selling physical goods or providing professional services. You can also type in your own if you don't feel either applies. Enter in whether or not you plan to hire employees within the upcoming year. Next, enter in the postal code where your business will be operating in. You're going to be selecting where you will be serving your customers. You can choose online, at a brick and mortar store, or on the go, and what additional plans you have for your business that you need to still complete. Now, if you have completed some steps for starting your business already, then you'll want to enter these in here, showing what you have already completed. For example, if you've already obtained an EIN from irs.gov, you're going to check that box here, and then you'll be prompted to enter in your EIN later on. Great feature is going to be offered to you here for free, and this is a customized business plan based on the information that you have already entered in. Next, you're going to enter in your personal contact information. This is going to be for the purpose of updating you on the status of your paperwork. So enter in your first name, your last name, your phone number, your email address, and a password. This is not information that's going to be on public record. Rather, this is merely information that Tailor Brands is going to use to contact you to update you on the status of your registration. Now, before you form your LLC and start with the paperwork, you're going to need to select which package with Tailor Brands you would like to choose. Now, while forming it for free is great, I want to recommend that you actually do a higher level package because you want to make sure that you stay compliant without having to keep track of the deadlines and do additional paperwork with questions in your mind. You want to make sure that you are able to know when things are due and stay compliant without a doubt. Updating to the essential package here is going to not only form your LLC in the state of California, but it is also going to upgrade you to expedited processing within 2 business days. It is going to ensure annual compliance with your mandatory reports and filing updates. It's also going to establish for you an operating agreement. So basically everything you need to make sure that you are compliant and that you remain compliant is included here. First, what is an LLC? An LLC is a limited liability company. When you start a business, you need to choose what type of business entity you are going to form. The most popular ones that you hear frequently are sole proprietor or LLC. Unlike a sole proprietorship, an LLC creates a completely separate business entity, separate from the owner. It separates the business and the business owner and therefore separates the business finances and your personal finances and assets. Creates a layer of protection between your business liabilities and your personal assets. Another key aspect of forming an LLC is that it opens up the door to choosing how your business is taxed, and this can potentially result in huge tax savings for business owners. Let's compare an LLC versus a sole proprietorship, two very common ways to start a business. When you first start making self-employed income, you are automatically defaulted to what is known as a sole proprietor. This means that you are earning self-employed income and that you and your business are one and the same. There is no distinction between a business entity and the personal self. Therefore, all of your business finances and your personal assets, and any liabilities that have to do with your business all pass through to the business owner. All of your self-employed income is going to be declared on Form Schedule C of your income tax return. All of this income will also be subject to self-employment tax, which is 15.3%. Self-employment tax includes a portion for Medicare and a portion for Social Security. The IRS automatically defaults you to a sole proprietor, and no additional paperwork needs to be filed to be a sole proprietor. However, within your county, city, and state, there still may be additional registrations and licenses that you need to file in order to operate a legal business in your area. Now, forming an LLC is a little different and has additional benefits that sole proprietorships do not offer. A limited liability company known as an LLC is going to require you to complete a series of steps in order to form a completely separate business entity. This means that the business owner and the business are no longer one and the same. You are forming a completely separate entity, and along with forming that separate entity, you're going to create a line of protection between your business liabilities and your personal assets. LLCs also have the ability to choose how they are taxed. When a sole proprietor files their income taxes, they're going to claim that self-employed income on Form Schedule C of their income tax return. They are then going to be subject to pay 15.3% of self-employment tax on that net amount of their earnings, in addition to federal and state income taxes. That 15.3% breaks down into a portion for Social Security and a portion for Medicare. A single member LLC is automatically going to be taxed the same way that a sole proprietor is taxed by default. The LLC is disregarded for tax purposes, and all of that income passes through onto your personal tax return. That is the default. However, an LLC also has the option to change how they are taxed by doing an additional step. LLCs have the option to elect SCorp taxation status. Being taxed as an SCorp means a lot of different changes for your business, which can result in huge tax savings. Electing SCorp tax status is going to mean that you are going to have to hire yourself as an employee for your business. You are going to have to pay yourself a reasonable salary for that work, and that salary is going to be subject to payroll taxes. Because you're an employee of your business, you are going to follow all legal rules, guidelines, registrations, and taxes that are associated with hiring an employee and putting them on payroll. But because you're only required to pay yourself a reasonable salary for the work that you're doing, the additional profits of the business that are not paid to you in salary are going to be transferred over to you in what is called an owner's distribution. An owner's distribution is basically a transfer of that additional profit to the owners of the LLC. Now, this is where the tax savings lies, because those owners' distributions are not only not subject to payroll taxes, because you're not paying the employee, it's an owner's distribution, but they also are not subject to self-employment tax. So you essentially are saving 15.3% on that owner's distribution amount that you would otherwise be paying to self-employed income taxes. So how do you decide if an LLC is right for you? I'm going to make this super simple because there are just 3 questions that you need to ask yourself. The first question is, do you have any personal assets that you want to separate from your business? Do you have anything such as a car, a home, or any major assets that you want to make sure are protected and completely separated off from any business liabilities, such as a potential lawsuit? If so, then you will want to consider an LLC. The second question to ask yourself is, are you okay with paying an annual tax to have an LLC? LLCs are going to be charged an annual tax every single year, regardless of whether or not they are actually profiting, making money, or turning out sales and customers. In the state of California, you are going to be subject to pay an $800 annual LLC tax. And if your business earns over $250,000 a year, then there is an additional LLC fee based on a scale according to how much your business earns. And the third question I want you to ask yourself is, will your business be earning $100,000 or more? If your business is regularly and consistently earning around $100,000 and up, then you want to make sure that you are maximizing your tax savings. And converting to an LLC and then electing SCorp tax status is going to make sure that you are able to save that self-employment tax amount of 15.3% on all of your owner's distributions. Now, this only makes sense if you're in a higher level income bracket regularly and consistently, because there is going to be a series of fees that come along with hiring yourself as an employee. Next, let's go over what costs you should expect when forming and maintaining an LLC. First up are your LLC formation fee. You'll be registering your LLC with the California Secretary of State, which charges $70 to register and form your LLC. Additionally, the California Secretary of State will also require you to submit a statement of information. This statement of information costs $20 to file, and you not only have to do it when you form the LLC, but you also will have to file an updated statement of information and pay the $20 fee every other year. Next, you're going to need to plan to pay your annual LLC tax. In the state of California, this is an annual $800 fee charged every year through your LLC's income tax return. For registering with the state, you're also going to be obligated to pay your local business registration fees. Registering for a business license in your city is most likely going to be required. This ranges from city to city and can be anywhere from $30 up to $150. You'll need to check with your specific city in order to know the amount. Look this up on calgold.ca.gov. Now, if you plan on operating your business using a different name than your LLC's original formation name, then you are going to have to register what is called a DBA, a doing business as statement, also known as a fictitious business name statement. Now, this is another fee that will differ from county to county, and you can find your exact fee for your location on calgold.ca.gov. Registering for a seller's permit if you plan to sell tangible goods, as well as registering for an EIN, an employer identification number, are both free. Having an EIN is going to mean that you do not need to use your social security number on your business tax paperwork. An EIN is also going to be required for you to open up business bank accounts. And having a business bank account and separating your business and your personal finances is required for an LLC. Next, LLCs are going to be required to have what is known as a registered agent. A registered agent is a contact person whose personal information, their name, their phone number, and their address are all registered on public record and available for anyone to search. Therefore, any legal documentations that need to be sent over to your business always have a point of contact on public record. This person needs to be available during business hours. When forming an LLC, you can be your own registered agent. However, many LLC owners do not want to have their personal information on public record, and they choose to hire a registered agent service to do this professionally for them in order to protect their personal privacy. Hiring a registered agent service varies depending on which service you select, but in general can cost a few $100s a year. Next up, you'll want to consider costs associated with your business address. LLCs are going to be required to list 3 addresses: that registered agent's address, the business mailing address, and the physical business address. In the state of California, it is not allowed to register a business to a PO box. You must have a physical address. Therefore, if you are someone that wants to protect your home address and you do not have an external store, studio, or office space, then you are going to need to hire the services of a virtual office. A virtual office is different from a virtual address or a P.O. box. A virtual office is going to be a service that specifically states that they allow you to register your business using their physical address that they give to you. The cost for this also varies depending on which company you choose to use, but usually is a minimal cost between $5 and $40 per month. Okay, so you have decided that you want to form an LLC. Now let's go over your must-have checklist of things that you need to have in place before you can form an LLC. Number one, you want to make sure that you have a business name in mind. If you want to operate under a different name later on, you can always file an additional DBA, doing business as statement, and connect it to that LLC. But the name that you form your LLC under cannot already be in use and registered in your state. You'll want to make sure that you visit your Secretary of State's website and use their business lookup tool in order to search the name that you would like to have and see if it is currently in use. Next, you want to plan for your business address. LLCs are going to be required to have 3 different addresses: the address of a registered agent, a business mailing address, and a business physical address where the business is located. Next, make sure you know who your registered agent is going to be. A registered agent is a contact person whose personal information, their name, their phone number, and their address are all registered on public record and available for anyone to search. Therefore, any legal documentations that need to be sent over to your business always have a point of contact on public record. This person needs to be available during business hours. When forming an LLC, you can be your own registered agent. However, many LLC owners do not want to have their personal information on public record, and they choose to hire a registered agent service to do this professionally for them. And lastly, you will need to have an EIN, an employer identification number. LLCs are required to separate their business finances and their personal finances, which means that you're going to have to be opening a business bank account. Business bank accounts are going to be required to be opened using an EIN, an employer identification number. Now, that sounds a little misleading because you might not have employees, but you do not need employees in order to obtain an EIN. EINs are obtained from irs.gov for free and only takes just a couple minutes to get one instantly. Next, I'm going to walk you through all the steps that you need to do in order to form your LLC with the state of California. First, you're going to go to bizfileonline.sos.ca.gov. On the left-hand side under Business Entities, you are going to select Register a Business. Next, you're going to select the File Articles of Organization option, and here you'll see that there is a $70 fee. Next, you're going to be prompted to create an online account, including your first name, last name, contact info, and organization. Next, you're going to be asked to agree to the terms and conditions as well as the privacy warning here. So go ahead and click that you agree and that you have read these terms and click on to the next step. The submitter information here is listed as being optional, but if there are any questions regarding your submission, then this is the person whom the Secretary of State's office is going to contact. Next, you'll need to confirm that you are not going to be providing any professional services because an LLC in the state of California cannot actually provide professional services. Next, you're going to be asked if you have previously reserved the name of your LLC. Unless you filed a specific name reservation previously, then your answer here will be no. Next, you're going to type out how you would like your limited liability company to be named. Next, you're going to be asked for both a street address and a mailing address. Please make sure that you note that the street address cannot be a P.O. box. It must be a physical street address. And yes, this can be registered to a virtual office if you have paid for that service somewhere. Your mailing address, however, can be listed as a P.O. box. Next, you're going to select if you're going to have your registered agent be an individual or if it's going to be a California registered corporate agent. Next, you will specify if your LLC will have one manager, multiple managers, or if all members of your LLC will be managers. Next, you can select if you would like to file this documentation immediately or if you have a specific file date in the future. Next, it's going to ask you here for any additional optional attachments. In most cases, you may not have optional documents to attach, but that is there just in case. Next, you will be asked to review all information and documents submitted, and then you will be asked for an organizer signature. The organizer is whomever is filing this paperwork online. So if you're filing it for yourself, then that would be your name. Next, you will finalize the $70 processing fee payment and specify if you do want to order a certified copy. I do recommend ordering a certified copy because it can come in helpful as you file additional paperwork for your business later on down the line. Now, after you have submitted the articles of organization online, the next step is that you're going to be required to file your initial statement of information. Every year, LLCs are required to file an updated statement of information with the Secretary of State. Once your articles of organization have been processed, then you're going to file this initial statement of information by returning to the Secretary of State's website once again. On the left-hand side, you're going to click on File Statement of Information, and then you will locate your business, sign in, and you can complete the document online there. Next, LLCs are going to be required to file a BOI report, a Beneficial Ownership Information Report, through FinCEN, a government organization. It provides information identifying the individuals who directly or indirectly own or control a company. In 2021, Congress passed the Corporate Transparency Act, which requires this BOI report to be filed. Companies that were created or registered in 2024 will have 90 calendar days to file their BOI report, whereas companies created or registered after January 1st, 2025 will have 30 calendar days to file their BOI report. To file your BOI report, go to fincen.gov/BOI. Click on File Report using the BOI e-filing system. Click BOI e-filing to get started and select File Online. Here you'll be able to enter in the information specific to your unique business and file the report. Now, if this seems confusing or overwhelming, you are not alone. This is a lot of steps to handle. And for many business owners, this is the reason why they stop in the process of forming their business and never actually create the business. They never open their doors, or they never convert to the protections of an LLC because they get stopped in the process. There are a lot of steps and it can seem confusing and overwhelming. So compare how many steps I just showed you to form the LLC yourself versus how simple it is with Tailor Brands. Now, after you form your LLC, there is still some work to do because you want to make sure that even though you have formed your LLC, your next step is making sure that you're going to be compliant with your city and your county's business registration requirements. This is super important. I want to introduce you to the best website to streamline and simplify this process is calgold.ca.gov. This is an all-in-one government-run website that is going to list out every single permit, license, and fee that you need to do for your specific county and industry. But not only that, it is going to provide you with links to the websites of those departments. Next, you want to make sure that you set up your business bank accounts. LLCs are required to separate their business and personal finances, and you want to make sure that you have a business savings and a business checking set up and in place before you start the cash flow going in and out of your business. Which leads me to the next must-do after forming your LLC, which is setting up a bookkeeping method. You are going to need to keep adequate financial records of the money coming in and out of your business. All of your expenses are going to be used later as business deductions on your taxes, and you're going to be required to keep financial records. Next, make sure that you have investigated what types of business insurance you need for your specific industry and location. Some industries are going to have a set of required insurances that you need to have in order to get jobs and work in that industry, and that customers and clients will need to see proof of. While other types of insurance are optional but should be strongly encouraged, such as general liability insurance, errors and omissions insurance, and others. Lastly, make sure that you understand what is needed in order to stay compliant and keep your LLC active. LLCs in the state of California are required to file an updated Statement of Information biannually. Every other year, you must file an updated Statement of Information with the California Secretary of State, even if your information has not changed. Additionally, for compliance, you're going to need to make sure that you have an operating agreement for your LLC in place, because in order for those legal protections to be ironclad, you must have an operating agreement. Lastly, you're going to be obligated to pay your annual LLC tax and file your LLC tax return. Okay, everyone, I hope that was helpful. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions, and most importantly, make sure you click the link in the video description in order to form your LLC with Tailor Brands.